This is the story of how three Italian families turned a single 1930 invention into a global $20,000 suit cartel, and why it reshaped Neapolitan tailoring forever. Kiton, Cesare Attolini, and Isaia. Three brand names, three histories, three websites that go to great lengths to convince you they are different houses with different philosophies. They are not. All three operate within 15 square miles of each other on the outskirts of Naples. All three were founded by fabric merchants. All three sell, fundamentally, the same jacket, a jacket invented by one man in 1930 who did not even own the rights to it. Over the last 15 years, all three have made the exact same defensive moves in the exact same order to lock the rest of the world out of their margins. This is what a cartel looks like when it does not need a contract. To understand the cartel, you have to start with one tailor and one jacket. In 1930, a young Neapolitan named Vincenzo Attolini cut a jacket with no shoulder pads, no chest padding, and no internal canvas. The English suit at the time was armor, stiff, structured, heat-trapping, built to make a man look like a column. Think Savile Row at its most rigid, full canvas, padded chest, hard shoulder. Vincenzo's jacket was a shirt with lapels. It moved with the body. It draped instead of holding shape. It had a curved breast pocket the trade still calls barchetta. Where Savile Row engineered structure, Vincenzo engineered absence. The result was sprezzatura made physical, that Italian art of wearing effort without showing it. The story goes that the Duke of Windsor was walking through the Piazzetta in Capri when he saw a passerby wearing one. He stopped the man. He asked who made it. That moment, half legend, half documented, is treated as the birth certificate of Neapolitan tailoring as a global category. Vincenzo Attolini did not invent the jacket under his own name. He invented it while working as the head cutter at the Rubinacci house in Naples. Rubinacci was the brand. Vincenzo was the employee. When his family eventually built their own tailoring business decades later, the question of who actually owned the invention started a feud between the Attolinis and the Rubinaccis that, by the Gentleman's Tailoring Press's own account, has never been fully healed. That detail matters. The founding artifact of an entire $20,000 luxury category has contested ownership from the day it was cut. The unstructured shoulder, the boat-shaped pocket, the soft canvas. Every house that came afterward built its identity on a garment whose paternity was never settled. But the dispute did not slow the spread. By the 1950s, the Vincenzo Attolini blueprint was the dominant grammar of Italian menswear. Toto wore it, De Sica wore it, Mastroianni wore it, Clark Gable wore it. The whole world saw a Neapolitan jacket and thought modern. Now here is where the cartel quietly assembles itself. The first piece arrives in 1920. A man named Enrico Isaia opens a fabric shop in Casalnuovo, a small town on the southeast edge of Naples. He does not make clothes yet. He sells cloth to the tailors, who do. By 1957, Enrico and his brothers Rosario and Corrado have moved the operation deeper into Casalnuovo, a village where, at the time, half the residents were professional tailors. Within a decade, Isaia is no longer supplying the tailors. Isaia is the tailor. The second piece arrives in 1968. Ciro Paone, a fifth-generation member of a family of textile merchants, registers a label called Kiton, named after the chiton, the ceremonial tunic of ancient Greece. He has been running a fabric trading company called Tsipa since 1956. But with Kiton, he is making the jump from selling cloth to making clothes. He builds his factory in Arzano, the next suburb over from Casalnuovo. It's a 10-minute drive and the same talent pool. Paone is described in the trade press of the period as a friend and rival of Vincenzo Attolini, and together they are credited with the explosion of Neapolitan fashion across the world. The third piece arrives in the late 1980s. Vincenzo's son Cesare, who had spent his career as a contract designer for prestigious tailoring houses up north in Turin, comes back to Naples and opens a workshop in his own name. Casalnuovo again. It is walking distance from Enrico Isaia's factory and 45 minutes in bad traffic from Ciro Paone's Kiton plant. The Attolini family name is finally on a door. 3 brands, 3 founders, 3 independent stories. Watch the pattern. Founders were fabric merchants before they were clothing brands. Every founder spent years cataloging exactly which workshops, which artisans, and which cutting techniques mattered before they ever went into competition with them. Every founder built within the same 15-square-mile patch of suburban Naples, and every founder built around the same Vincenzo Attolini blueprint. If you were trying to design a coordinated industry, this is what you would design. The shared upstream knowledge, the shared geography, the shared template. The brands present these as accidents. They are not accidents. They are the consequence of 3 families building competing versions of the same product in the same town, drawing on the same supplier base, around the same invention. The competition is real on the surface. The substrate is shared. Casalnuovo di Napoli is not famous. It is not on any tourist map. It is a flat, suburban town 15 minutes drive from the Naples airport, with the kind of beige, low-rise apartment blocks that define the South Italian periphery. There is no reason for anyone outside the menswear industry to know it exists. Inside the menswear industry, it is the most important small town in the world. Isaia's main factory is here. Cesare Attolini's main workshop is here, a town historically recognized as the birthplace of the most skilled Neapolitan tailors. Kiton is a few minutes north in Arzano. Mariano Rubinacci, the house Vincenzo Attolini was working for when he cut the jacket, is in Naples proper. Half a dozen smaller tailoring brands you have never heard of, Stile Latino, Sartorio, Matabiche, Sartoria Partenopea, operate within the same radius. This concentration matters because tailoring at this level cannot be outsourced. An Isaia blazer takes 13.5 hours to make. A hand-stitched buttonhole alone takes 10 minutes. A Cesare Attolini suit takes between 25 and 30 hours, hand-stitched by a workshop of about 130 tailors. Kiton runs roughly 850 employees across 5 Italian factories. These are not assembly line jobs. They take years to train. The skills do not transfer cleanly across regions because so much of the technique, the cuts, the way the canvas is shaped by hand, the angle of the barchetta pocket, gets taught person to person in the dialect by people who learned it from their grandparents. That talent pool is the cartel's most defensible asset, and the 3 houses know it. Each of them runs its own tailoring school. Kiton's Scuola di Alta Sartoria has been training young tailors since 2000, with master tailors teaching a 3-year program to students aged 16 to 21. Isaia has its own apprenticeship pipeline. Cesare Attolini trains its artisans in-house, generation by generation, with workers whose families have been with the company for decades. 3 competing schools, 1 shared talent pool. The kids being trained at Kiton come from the same Casalnuovo and Arzano families as the kids being trained at Isaia. They are cousins. They are neighbors. They drink at the same bars. The schools look like competition. They function as a coordinated talent pipeline that locks the supply of skilled Neapolitan tailors inside the cartel's geography. Now look at what they actually sell. A Cesare Attolini jacket is built on the unstructured shoulder, the boat-shaped breast pocket, the soft hand-stitched canvas, and an extended dart that runs into the bottom of the skirt. So is a Kiton jacket. So is an Isaia jacket. The construction details that the brand websites describe as their distinctive signature are the spalla camicia shoulder, the barchetta pocket, the absence of padding, the hand-finished buttonholes, the curved patch pockets, and the 3-on-2 button stance. These are the construction details Vincenzo Attolini specified in 1930. And for those keeping track at home, these are all full canvas constructions, not half canvas, not fused interlining, full floating canvas, hand-padded and shaped to the chest. This is what separates Neapolitan tailoring from virtually everything else at this price point, including most of what Savile Row sells at ready-to-wear. The trade press talks about house differences. Kiton is positioned as the most luxurious in fabric. Their K50 suit is sewn by one of the 5 most senior master tailors in the building, cut from cloth-graded Super 150 or higher, and retails for $60,000. Cesare Attolini is positioned as the more conservative house. No more than 8,000 garments a year, custom orders priced 30% above ready-to-wear. Isaia is positioned as the contemporary house. Bolder colors, the red coral logo, a slightly more accessible price point. These distinctions are real. They're also marketing. The garment underneath the marketing is the same garment. A man buying a Kiton jacket and a man buying an Isaia jacket are, structurally, buying the same 1930 invention with different fabric weights and different brand stories stapled to it. The customer is told he is choosing between philosophies. He is choosing between 3 branded versions of the same 95-year-old pattern made by tailors who, in many cases, were trained by the same masters. Then there is what the houses have done in the last 15 years. In 2010, Kiton acquired a controlling stake in Carlo Barbera, a Biella-based textile mill known for high-end yarn. Biella is the Italian equivalent of Yorkshire. It is where the country's premium suiting fabric has been woven for 200 years. Houses like Vitale Barberi's Canonico built their reputations there. Acquiring a mill there is not a vanity buy, it is a supply chain control move. Each bale of cloth woven there now carries the words, "Produced exclusively for Kiton in the Selvedge." No competitor can legally buy it. In 2015, Cesare Attolini acquired Fioroni, an Umbria-based knitwear manufacturer founded in 1978. Knitwear was the obvious next category for a tailoring house to expand into, and rather than partner with a vendor, Attolini bought the vendor outright. Same playbook. In 2021, Isaia acquired its own textile company, Tela di Penelope, in the Piedmont wool district of Corregna, in the same Biella region where Kiton had bought Barbera 11 years earlier. Same kind of mill, same kind of move, same upstream lockup. 3 brands, 3 acquisitions. All 3 within an 11-year window. All 3 locking up the same kinds of supply, premium northern Italian wool mills, exclusive fabric development, and knitwear specialists, at exactly the moment the global resale market for second-hand luxury menswear started threatening their pricing power. This is what an industry does when its members watch each other carefully and respond to the same threats with the same defensive moves. It protects pricing. You do not have to be in a room together to coordinate. You have to be facing the same problem from the same town with the same playbook. Which brings us, finally, to the prices. A ready-to-wear Cesare Attolini jacket retails for between $6,500 and $7,500. A ready-to-wear suit sells for $7,500 to $9,500. Custom adds about 30%, putting a custom suit around $12,000. Kiton ready-to-wear suits start around $9,000. Bespoke ranges from $10,000 to over $50,000, depending on fabric. The K50 caps the line at $60,000. Isaia jackets range from $4,000 up to $15,000, with made-to-measure suits sitting in the same neighborhood as Kiton's ready-to-wear floor. And yes, there is a difference between made-to-measure and bespoke here, even if the houses do not always advertise it. Made-to-measure adjusts a base pattern to your measurements. Bespoke cuts a new pattern from scratch. At these prices, the distinction matters. Look at the rungs. Each brand sits exactly one step apart. Isaia is the entry point. Cesare Attolini is the middle. Kiton is the ceiling. There is no overlap that would force any one of them to compete on price with the other two. The customer who walks into an Isaia store is told he can graduate up. The customer who walks into a Kiton store is told he is at the top. The customer who walks into Cesare Attolini is told he is buying the connoisseur's choice in between. 3 rungs, 1 ladder. Together, and only together, they hold the $20,000 anchor for what a Naples-made jacket is supposed to cost. No single one of these houses could hold that anchor alone. If only Kiton charged what Kiton charges, the market would correct it. Pricing would be revealed as house policy, not category logic, and a competitor could undercut them. If only Cesare Attolini did what Cesare Attolini does, the 8,000 garment annual cap would look like a marketing gimmick, not a craft constraint. If only Isaia existed, Isaia would be the expensive one, not the accessible one. It is the 3 of them, side by side, occupying carefully separated rungs of the same ladder, that makes the ladder feel like a fact about the world, rather than a coordinated price wall. Every January, the most ardent followers of these brands descend on Florence for Pitti Uomo, the trade show that functions as the annual pageant of Italian menswear. Kiton, Isaia, and Cesare Attolini all have presences there. The buyers come, the press comes, the influencers come. And every year, the 3 houses present their new collections as distinct visions. Different fabrics, different colors, different moods. Nobody in the room mentions that all 3 are, structurally, selling the same jacket Vincenzo Attolini cut in 1930. 3 families, 1 town, 1 1930 jacket none of them invented, and one of them did not even invent it first. The same suppliers, the same artisans, the same defensive acquisitions, the same century-old playbook for keeping outsiders out and pricing up. There is no contract. There has never been a meeting. The cartel does not need either. Geography, bloodline, and a shared invention have done the work quietly for 95 years. And the next time someone tells you a Naples-made jacket is worth $20,000, you will know exactly who decided that and why.